Okay, let's get into how my dismissive avoidant attachment style has manifested itself in my adult relationships. Welcome and welcome back to my channel, Dismissible Me, a monologue and a compass for dismissive avoidant attachment. Please hit the like button, subscribe for daily content Monday through Friday, and drop your attachment style and where you're watching from, and any questions you would like to see me touch on in a future video in the comment section. So, okay, getting back into the topic again, how my dismissive avoidant attachment has manifested itself in my relationships. First of all, we know what dismissive avoidant attachment is, right? Relationship style characterized by being emotionally detached, not wanting to be intimate physically, emotionally, not wanting to be vulnerable, X, Y, and Z, right? We can Google schmoogle that. It's hindered me in that way, like, even, and not just in my personal relationships, but even in work and business with what I do. A lot of what I do is networking, and I'm really good at what I do. What I can't do is network. I just cannot. I cannot get into it's not the I struggle with the vulnerability of putting myself out there on many different levels. And it's not, I don't, in my mind, it's not, an insecurity thing. It's why am I putting out this energy into other people when I'm not understanding what it is I'm about to get out of this, right? Because I may be networking with you, but for what? When are you gonna come in handy for me? And it seems disingenuous to be just making friends with the intent of, if I need you, I'm just gonna call you because we go to the same meetings every month, bi-weekly. We're a part of the same club. That just seems corny. Like, yeah, it seems corny to me, but it's like, I don't understand. I can wrap my mind around it, but I can't wrap my mind around it enough to want to get in there and do it. And when I do get in there and do it, it exhausts all of my energy. It takes everything out of me to go to these events. I just went to a baby shower yesterday because I'm going to be an aunt. I was 3 hugs in. I wasn't there 5 minutes. I don't think I was there 3 minutes. 3 hugs in, I was ready to go. If I wasn't limited on siblings, I would have been out of there. It was just like, oh my gosh, how many more hugs am I going to get? How many more times am I going to have to do? And I hadn't even hugged my mother yet. I was over it. These were strangers as far as I'm concerned. It just takes a lot out of me. So again, we haven't even touched romantic relationships. This is just out and about, in the office, on the street, Christmas parties. Like, I just don't want to go. Even if I like people, I have been in places where I've liked a lot of people, and it's like, oh, it would have been really great if I went to the Christmas party. I don't really want to go to the Christmas party because I'm not going to just be able to interact with the people that I want to interact with, and not be seen as standoffish, but really it's just, if I haven't decided that I'm going to invest in any type of relationship with you, I'm just not going to exert any energy in your direction. It's not even a dislike, it's a neutral. I'm not concerned. The emotional distance, even for friends. So let's just stick to friends in business relationships and things. Because one thing that's been consistent for me, and I don't know if this is the case for other people, I have been consistently pulled to the side because I'm a quiet person. Like, I keep to myself. I do not, as I've just explained, I don't go out of my way to introduce myself to people or make myself known wherever it is that I'm at. Like, I try my best to learn, master whatever it is that I'm learning, and then just do that. Like, over shouting out loud what it is that I'm doing, overly advertising what I have going on, like posting on social media is super not my thing. Like, I'm very laid back and low key and don't like people in my business, obviously. But even in friendships, people expect for you to be a little bit emotionally vulnerable. People don't want to be telling you all of their business, though people do tend to randomly come up to me and tell me all of their business. Number one, I think it's because, especially in the workplace, people use it as a therapy time. Because people understand from watching me that I don't talk to other people, because I'm just stay to myself, so I'm not a part of gossip, so it's likely that you can just tell me a bunch of stuff and I'm just going to hold on to your drama, your trauma, all that. They come and they tell me these things, but eventually people do expect for you to reciprocate that, or for you to also engage in oversharing, and I'm just not going to do that. I'm just not going to do that unless I feel like you're a safe person. And most people don't come off as safe. A lot of people come off as crazy. A lot more people come off as very needy to me. Like, oh, sounds like you're going to need a shoulder to cry on. I might not be the friend, I may not be the coworker you want to have lunch with, because that's not necessarily my energy. I don't want to be crying about it. I'd rather fix it or move on. Like, come to terms with it, but we can't be crying, because that does nothing. But people expect that, and so we got that down. Excuse me, as I'm looking down, I have notes here. I'm being more organized than the beginning, how I started my channel. So forgive me for the constantly looking down. And even the extreme need for independence in my friendships, because I do not ask for help, because I do not reach out. So the reciprocation part, when people ask me to hang out, I typically, if I like you, I would typically say yes, hey, let's do X, Y, and Z, that's fine. But the day of or the day before, don't expect me to reach out and be like, hey, are we still good? I'm assuming you're going to reach out to me. Like, I don't know why that is. I don't know why it's a one-sided thing like that. You know, as I'm saying this out loud, I'm doing a lot of self-reflecting, and I've reflected on this before this, but I struggle with that. So I'm sure people are just like, what the heck? Like, I make plans, I intend to do them, but if you're asking me to follow up, I'm waiting for you, because if you don't want to do something, I'm just fine staying by myself. I'm just as fine doing something, finding something else to do. Like, it's no pressure with me, because sometimes I sign myself up for things and I'm like, dang, I really hope they cancel that. And I hope I don't have to, or maybe I can wiggle out of this, or maybe it can just be kind of like a maybe thing. Sometimes I just don't want to be held down to certain dates, and people don't like that either. Where you don't want to be pinned down, you can't say yes or no whether or not I'm going to come. And I get that. So, you know, people that require me to absolutely give them a definite answer, they want to be all controlling, I just tend to give them space. And so again, I'm eliminating people from my friend group because they're asking me to give them definitive answers. And sometimes I don't like that. So, and that's not an unreasonable request, but you know, depending on the day, how I'm feeling, who you are, how I feel about you, that sometimes those requests seem unreasonable to me. And then getting into romantic relationships, the obvious fear of intimacy and fear of being vulnerable. When people are trying to be close to you and opening up to you, it is the same exact thing. They want you to do the same thing. Eventually, people get frustrated with me that I'm not telling them anything about me, that I'm not trying to bring them around my family or introduce them to family. And it's not a I'm uncomfortable with my family. I'm uncomfortable with you being around my family. And then I have to explain to people why you're not coming around anymore. Because you messed up. So that's a thing. People don't like that, and I understand that. People also don't like the fact that I'm going to tell you immediately up front, and I've said this in several videos from the beginning of my channel up to now. I let people know very upfront, as I thought this was a very I thought this was a very secure thing to do, to tell people up front, I'm not going to tell you I love you, just so you know. Just so you know, I'm not going to do that, okay? So if that's important to you, I'm just telling you up front that that's not going to happen. Which, saying that out loud now seems wild. But I was doing it, and I thought that, again, I thought that was secure. I thought that was me telling people up front and being upfront and honest. And it is, but it's also, highly, highly problematic. People don't want to be involved with that. Though most people do not walk away at the first time I have to let people know that. I typically have to tell people 5, 6, a million times. It feels like it's probably more like 3. But by the time I have to tell you the 3rd time, I'm just out of there. Because clearly you're moving too fast and you're doing too dang much, and you're not listening to me, and you don't really care about my boundaries. So we get you right on out of there. So, and again, the difficulty expressing my emotions. How do you feel? What do you feel? If I'm just frustrated, my gut instinct, not that I do this now, because I'm a much better communicator, is just to shut down and just stop speaking to you. Let me just stop talking to your ass, okay? Because clearly I don't want to hear you. I don't want to see you. I've had enough. I need space. I need distance, okay? And maybe if I give you a little cold shoulder, a little passive aggressive before I get aggressive, maybe that'll help you get the hint that I need you to back up or stop what you're doing immediately. That. The just getting up out of situations because I'm uncomfortable, instead of explaining that I'm uncomfortable, just pulling away or withdrawing out of situations. Oh, that's a common practice of mine, or was, not so much now. And especially when I'm ending a relationship, when I'm feeling frustrated, because I know that my mouth is crazy. And I'm not bragging, I'm stating a fact that I can be very mean. And so my first response to be quiet is really, and withdrawing is really to save a situation. Is really to save it. Because when I get angry and when I get frustrated, that is when I tend to lash out. And anger and frustration very quickly with me, because I'm a quiet person and I don't like to do a lot of unnecessary drama, is really just grounds for me to eliminate people from my situation. So I do a lot of cutting people out because I see them as high risk and problematic. There's a lot of conflict going on. When I've added you to my situation and now there's a lot of conflict, there's a lot of drama, must be you. So I'm going to eliminate you from the situation. And I'm going to go on my merry little way. And that's not that I don't have any fault in it. It's just, you came in, now there's these problems. They're your problems, right? Because typically with me, I'm distant. They don't know where I'm at emotionally. I'm not following up with them. I'm asking for more space. I'm not coming towards them. I'm not meeting people emotionally, physically, halfway. Yeah. Even people that I would identify as dismissive avoidant as well, they also needing me to come towards them. I definitely, I might be the problem. Might, heavy on the might. Might be other people. Maybe might be me. But I'm going to get distant. For sure. If you put a lot of pressure on me, especially if you want to hold my hand, get physical, hold my hand, get to hugging, kissing on me, you can bet your sight that I'm going to withdraw, pull away from you. Things are going to get cold and weird if you try to do that. Absolutely, positively. And that's turned a lot of people off. And I get it, but you gotta move slow. Everybody's not fast, okay? Everybody's not Sexy Red. Everybody's not Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B. Like, don't let these long legs, long arms fool you. We're not doing any of that. Yeah. So out of that whole not wanting to commit, not wanting to put a label on things because I'm not quite sure that I want to say that I want you to be my man. Yeah, yikes. I know. That But seriously, one wrong move, you say that that's your man, they make a wrong move. Now you're embarrassed. Same thing for men with women. This is not an anti-men channel. It's not that. Somebody makes a wrong move, embarrasses you. Now you got to explain it to your family. Now you got to explain it to your friends. Now you got to explain it to your coworker. It's just a whole mess. So I keep that distance. That it's not just a physical, it's a physical, emotional, even keeping you not within close proximity to the people that are close to me. And I recognize that is a turnoff for a lot of people. So I just consciously and subconsciously, it's not hard for me to decipher what type of person is going to this is so wild to say again. Who's going to be okay with this type of behavior and who's not. And I don't mean like who's just not gonna but I mean like the anxious, preoccupied person that I did a video on, which I should probably do another video on that now that I'm organized and better now. That entire situation, there's so many things. Let me not even go there altogether. Listen, my inability to be vulnerable and my inability to communicate in the past, because I don't have that issue now. Now I can communicate very clearly. And the problem is I'm communicating very clear red flags that are extremely unattractive. I'm turning people off, and I'm also very easily turned off. It goes both ways. And because I engage in all these anti-bonding activities, behaviors, it is hard for me to create friendships. So I have very few friends, which you should have very few friends. Everybody's not your friend. Very few. But I hold those relationships very close to me. Like if you're my friend, I'm your friend. You don't have to worry about that. I'm very loyal. I'll hold you down. You're not going to have any problems out of me. I'm not going to cross your boundaries. I'm going to do all that. But just understand, I'm not going to be the friend that's all in your face. I'm not going to be the friend that's popping up on you. I'll check on you, but I'm not, unfortunately, I'm terrible at this. Checking up on people. I'm terrible at that. I have had to situations with my best friend in the last 8 months have really made me a better friend and checking up and following up with people and making sure people are okay. But prior to that, I really sucked at that. She was much better, even though she's got 2 kids under 6, at following up with me and making and checking in with me. So I've had to be better with that and recognizing that I'm not good with that. So and again, the same with romantic relationships. I don't like to talk on the phone because I feel like face-to-face time is more precious to me. But I also don't want a whole bunch of face-to-face time either, because I feel like that's too much. I need to miss you. I don't want to see any friend every single day. There's no friend of mine that I want to talk to on the phone every single day. If you think that, you're crazy. None of my friends think that. None of my friends would call me. They may text me and message me online every day and like sending memes and this and that. That's one thing. You're not calling me every single day. My friends would never. That's crazy. That's wild. People in romantic relationships, they tend to think that I want to call them and speak to them every day. No, I don't. I don't want to speak to you every day. Like, Yeah, no, I really don't. And I don't need to see you every day. Once a week, twice a week would be amazing. 3, 4 every day. Whoa, what are we doing? Moving in together? Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. And all of these slow down tactics have hurt me. The avoidance, the minimization of my emotions, the being super independent and not needing people. So I don't need friends for this. I don't need a romantic partner for this. I don't need family for this. Really hinders, my relationships. One thing that I have worked on that has helped me exponentially, especially with communicating my feelings, is figuring out how to regulate my own emotions. So when I'm not feeling comfortable in a situation, I can just say, I'm not feeling comfortable, or I don't like that, and then saying that I'm removing myself and I'll be back in a timely fashion, or how much space did I need, X, Y, and Z. But that would have been very hard for me to do previously. And then doing a lot of self-reflection. I'm a self-reflector, an introspector. So, and not just somebody to be self-aware and go, oh, I do this, and so I'm aware of this. It's also I'm aware of this, and this is problematic, so I want to be better in changing these things. And that's kind of what this video is about. That's kind of what this overall channel is. I get to speak about the dysfunction here and not do it here and like mentally work through it as I'm talking it out loud on camera. And there are other people that experience this, think this way, and there are other people dealing with people that think this way, and we all get a piece of something out of it. So family, that is all I have for you today. Please let me know what resonated for you. If you are a dismissive avoidant, drop your attachment style down below. Let me know where you are watching from. Again, like, subscribe for my content Monday through Friday, and find me on Instagram. And family, I'll be tapping in with you very soon. Keep it real.